We'll be talking about alleged non-declaration of hazard. Much ado about the CJS trial. That's our first topic for today. The Federal High Court in Abuja Monday stopped the federal government arraignment of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Nugian, before the Code of Conduct Tribunal on charges of non-declaration of hazard. So we'll be starting with you, CJ Momi. What do you have to say as regards the CJS trial?
The CJN's trial is a welcome development.
Why?
3 of the mandate of this administration is to fight corruption, is to improve the economy and
education,
security.
Yeah.
Now, the question I ask myself, let's forget about associations in Nigeria, be it sociocultural, be it socio-political. Afenifere evolved from socio-cultural to socio-political. So you can give it to them and you can chastise them for supporting or endorsing a candidate because it's no more a socio-cultural organization, it's not a socio-political organization. Ohaneze is still a socio-cultural organization. That is why their secretary came out the other day to say, we have not endorsed Atiku. Our position is to support any candidate that is restructuring Nigeria restructuring orientated. Let me put it like that. So, why did I say that? If somebody promises something and it does not do it, is an indictment. So that is the same promise and fail syndrome we're trying to fight. Now, I asked myself 2 major questions. As the CGN heard from all available answers, it is yes. He has heard. The second question is the process of arraigning or prosecuting the CGN. Is it constitutional? That is where the question is. For me, and if we look at the avalanche of and preponderance of opinions, the bulk of the opinion says the approach is not right.
Right, yeah.
That it should have gone through the NJC first. There are some, I'm not talking about parties now, PDP or APC, because those parties will always, propagate their own interest. Now, I'm talking about professionals. I'm not a lawyer. I'm talking about lawyers, senior lawyers. There are a few people that have said, no. The only time you take a case to the NJC is only when it is an error in line of judicial duty. A judicial officer should be taken to NJC first before being prosecuted. But that it is just based on when he is in line of his judicial duties in that line. So that because if a judicial officer, be maybe a judge or a CJN, commits murder, you don't take him to the NJC. If he rapes, you don't take him to the NJC. Because that is not within his judicial duty. So there has been that argument, but the people mouthing that are just a few. So since I'm not a lawyer, I will still go with the preponderance of opinions, the majority opinion that says it should be taken to the NJC first before you can now prosecute. So if the federal government wants this all these sympathetic voices and sensationalism about this whole issue to just fizzle out, let them withdraw the case, take it to the NJC so that all arguments will be doused.
Okay, what do you have to say, Chinedum?
Yeah, I I agree with him 40% this time around. He talked about when the present administration came on board, the three cardinal points they went: security, economy, and corruption. The question you will ask yourself, these 3 points, is the federal government pursuing it as they promised? Is it corruption? You as a person, with the happenings, are you saying that this government is fair in fighting corruption? That's number one. Number two, the economy, has it fared well? Where you are rated the number 1 poorest country in the world, and you say the economy is faring well. Then, about security, they said Boko Haram has been technically defeated. Yes or no? So now, coming to the major issue, I'm not a lawyer. He's not a lawyer, like he said. We have to acknowledge that we have to respect the opinion of the lawyers. I was trying to express my opinion because I said that there were 2 court of appeal judgments in respect of whether a sitting judicial officer could put on trial or whatever. One said that you cannot put a judicial officer on trial. It has to go through the process of National Judicial Commission or whatever. Then the other one said, if the charges are made on the basis that he is a public officer, then you can put him on trial. Then the timing, if I were to advise, I think I would have joined the opinion that the timing is wrong. It tells more that the federal government has something they have against the CGN. I think rumor had it that his sin is that he freed Saraki. That is the alleged sin they found him. And they now look at the coming election might end in court decision. And if that happens, the apex court, who is the chairman of the Supreme Court, is the same man. And they felt that he is loyal to other political parties. But the issue is this: all those things are rumors and allegations. The right thing to be done is to allow the due process, because PMB came and say he will follow the due process, not because any other thing. Let's see him as a person who say he's a new born again. He's a Democrat. But we have seen all this one that is not. So my take is this: one, my friend said, has offense been committed? He said yes. I don't know when he has become the court to pronounce him guilty. He is it's an alleged offense. So it cannot be concluded that he has committed offense until court decides otherwise.